Today's the longest day, 21st of June. So I'm going to just take you on a wander. I'm taking you into the woods today. The sky is blue. There's no clouds today. And apparently it's going to be 30 degrees. It's about 8 o'clock at the moment, so I thought we'd take a nice stroll. Because I don't often take you into the woodland to see the trees. So I'll just open the gate. Got a bit of a creaky back this morning, I'm afraid, so I'm going to have to just take it steady. Hello, birdies. This is the north side. In fact, I'll take you down this little pathway. This is one of the pear trees, fruiting up nicely. There's another one over here. It's absolutely laden with pears this year. These are Williams pears, which are really nice. I probably need to thin the fruit out actually, because they're there's sort of bunches of 3 and 4, and I think really the weight gets too much for this little tree. I had to tie it up last year to support the branches. Right, let's continue our journey then. This is sort of like a little pathway that my husband strims. It's very brown and dry at the moment. Oh, an apple tree on the way. But yeah, it's quite nice. Maybe you'd like to see me, so here I am. I'm walking through the woods this morning. I'm going to dip down a little bit in some places as the branches are going over the pathway a little. Right, I really must get a selfie stick. I think that's probably what we would tend to use more than just doing what I'm doing, but I thought I'd just show you a different perspective today. So back to front facing. It's absolutely gorgeous today. The birds are everywhere. Is that a jackdaw or a magpie? Probably a magpie actually. So I'm walking up the main, oh, it could have been a crow. I'm just walking up the main stretch of the woods. We call this Sunset Boulevard because that's going back down towards the house. But if I pan you round, going further this way, this is taking us to the west edge. So when we come up here in the summertime, we can see the sunset. So that's why we're calling it Sunset Boulevard. I often think in the winter how nice it would be just to get a glimpse of summertime, just to feel the heat in the depths of winter when it's freezing cold. So I'm going to be looking back onto this video. I'll take you right to the end. We've just got a ploughed field at the bottom of the woods, and then houses beyond. But we keep this strip clear because we've got a dike or a ditch over here, and this has to be cleaned and dug out, so we have to keep an area here and access available for if the local authorities want to get a digger in, although they do tend to do it from the other side, which is handy for us. Yeah, so this is the top end of Kingswood. The main trees that we've got in here are birch, alder and willow, and then we have lots of fruit trees as well dotted in amongst the native trees. So we've got apple and plum and pear, and then I've got lots of cherry trees, wild cherry, and also some grafted ornamental cherry trees. So then on this other side we've got a wheat field. We always tend to have wheat in this field. There we go, you can see for quite a long way. And this is where the deer come across. They come across this field and then jump over this dike here. So we're surrounded by, on three sides, we've got a dike, so it's very private. But yeah, it's gorgeous. Now it probably all looks a bit samey when I'm just walking through like this, but I can see all the different, like this is a willow tree that was coppiced this year, it's re-sprouted. So we've got paths weaving through. This little area here is what we call campsite. We've got two of these. It's just a small piece, probably about 20 foot by about 25, 30 foot, that we keep trimmed. We've got this romantic idea of people coming and camping here in the woods. It probably won't happen because there's no facilities really, but I know a lot of people do like to do wild camping, and sometimes you get a nice surprise as you're walking through and you get an iceberg rose. I told you these are dotted about all over, and they really are. It seems quite happy here. It's got plenty of sunshine. Okay, so we go down this path. I'll have to come out with my pruners because some of these trees are starting to get some waving branches. Oh, and just here to my right, this is what I call the owl tree, which is where Walked down here and saw the tawny owl just sitting there looking at me. Incidentally, Daz has made an owl box, an owl nesting box, so we'll be putting that up soon. Apparently the habitat here is ideal for owls. Oops, gone through a spider's web. Here's the second campsite. To be honest, I don't know whether there's loads of little spiders' webs. I don't know. I don't know if you can see that one, probably not. This is quite a small campsite. I don't know if it would actually be big enough to put a tent in, because you need your guy ropes and things. So, but anyway, it's good to have some clear spaces. Another apple tree here. Lovely. A crab apple tree this side, full of fruit. Let's go back into the sunshine. A little ornamental crab apple, red fruits. And ooh, something just falling down my top. I think it might just be a leaf. I quite like these twisted willow trees. They just make sort of a canopy above. So the heat's starting to build up now. It's really pleasant, even though it's only sort of 8:30 maybe now. Oh, magpie. I've got some young trees down here with cages to protect them. The top leaves have been nibbled. There's about, all in all, I think there's about 2¼ acres here of woodland, plum tree. And then the back garden is about 1/2 acre, and the front including the house is probably about 1/4. So all in all we've got approximately 3 acres. And it's enough to look after, really. This is the second orchard. We keep this, well, my husband has recently been out with a brush cutter and cut all of this. The grass this side was the same as the grasses this side. Oh, another pear tree. But because on this first side, the cut side, because we've got, this is mainly fruit trees in here, lots of apple trees. So once the fruit starts to ripen and then it drops, if the grass is too long, it just gets left on the ground and rots, which is no good really. It's just a waste. So I asked him to cut the grass so that we could actually see what was going on down there and be able to harvest these apples when they're ready. So yes, I'll be looking back on this video in the depths of winter and just feeling that, the heat of that sun, just remembering what it was like. Of course in the winter it'll be all frosty, and it's sort of, then on the other side of the coin I'll probably take a video of when it's snowy and frosty, and then it's nice to just have a look back and see what it was like then. It's difficult to hold the images in your mind. The apple tree's full, loads of fruit. The one's behind. I'd say probably, I'm only guessing here, but I would say we've probably got about 200 fruit trees. But a lot of the fruit gets stored and thrown out for the birds in the winter when it's frosty and they can't find enough food. I always think it's nice to give them something different, because most people would feed them with the seed and the bird food that they can buy, so they probably don't get fruit very often. And the blackbirds, and there's a bird called a fieldfare, and they go crazy for the apples. Really love them. Right, so we're just about back where we started now. I always leave a tub of water here and I clean it and freshen it up every day, and it's usually a hive of activity. The bigger birds tend to come and bath in here. The blackbirds and the jackdaws and the pigeons. And then round in the garden I've got a smaller, a concrete bird bath, and that's where the smaller birds tend to congregate. It's safer for them because it's a lot more shallow. Okay, right, I think it's coffee time then, so I'll head off back to the house and get the coffee pot on. Hope you enjoyed this walk. I did. It's something that I don't often get a chance to do, but I do love a good walk in the woods. See you soon. Enjoy your garden today. So since it's the longest day, I thought I would take you into the woods onto the west side just to see where the sun sets at this time of year. The sky's fairly clear. It's 10 o'clock at the moment. Excuse me. And my husband's here with me.
Hello.
Sometimes in the winter we go what we call night walking, where we wait until it's pitch black and then we take a torch and we just go for a wander into the woods, especially when it's snowing or frosty. So when we've been up here before this time of night, we've seen hares and hedgehogs and all manner of wildlife. So we'll go down this little path. It's been mowed recently, so the paths are quite clear to see. So the woodland's been planted now about probably between 12 and 14 years. Pigeon. So the trees now are starting to get a good height and the canopy's closing. We've got quite a lot of different routes to take. I think we're disturbing a lot of pigeons as we're walking through. So we're just coming up now to the west side, which is the end of the woodland. So it looks like the sun, excuse me, the sun's already set. So I'm looking straight out west now. So if I pan over to the right, that's basically where the sun set tonight on the longest day. So I just thought we'd share this experience with you, because it's not something that you see every day of the year. So I hope you had a happy midsummer day, and you enjoyed being out in your garden, even though it's probably been really hot, because it's been really scorching hot here today in Lincolnshire. And so after 12 noon basically we had to stay inside because it was just too hot to be outside. So happy Saturday evening, and I'll see you soon. Bye.